Let us start then on how you view the state of the nation ahead of Trump's speech tonight, particularly in the Supreme Court exerting its power and authority over a president who it seems believed he was immune from it.
Well, I think it's very turbulent in the State of the Union. We remain a divided country on many issues. The political balance is really too close to call, and there's still 3 more years of Trump's term in office. But the Supreme Court decision in the tariff case on Friday really is going to be one of the most important in Supreme Court history, and certainly one of critical importance in the Trump administration. It was a very well reasoned opinion by Chief Justice Roberts. It said what had to be true, that the president did not have any inherent constitutional power to tax through tariffs or anything else, and that the statute that was in question, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, clearly did
Mm.
not give him any authority to impose tariffs. So it's a sweeping and very clear decision. It's not to say Trump may not have other statutory authorities, but the entire centerpiece of his economic policy, a major part of his foreign policy, and a weapon of potentially enormous discretion, which he wielded repeatedly over the past year, is gone. And he and his supporters can make brave noises about Section 232 or Section 301. Those are there,
Mhm.
but they are nothing like the authority he claimed and which the Supreme Court took away from him.
Do you think to that extent he is heading to lame duck territory?
Yes, I think this has been true since the off year elections we had in November of 2025, gubernatorial races in Virginia, New Jersey, a number of other local races, and a huge variety of other factors. I think we've passed peak Trump. I think he's over the hill now and heading down. I don't want to say how fast or how soon he'll reach the bottom, but this Supreme Court decision coming days before the State of the Union message was really a blow amidships to his the
Mm.
centerpiece of his policy.
Um, that obviously relates to Britain because of the tariffs that are going to be applied, but possibly only for 150 days. Let's see. Clearly, one of the other areas in which Trump has obfuscated when it relates to Britain is this deal on the Chagos Islands. He has been flip-flopping all over the place, but do you think it is a deal that should be signed and welcomed by America?
No, I think it's a bad deal for Britain. It's a bad deal for America. It's a bad deal for the West. That base on Diego Garcia was put there for a reason. The British Indian Ocean territories were carved off from Mauritius. You can go back and look at the
Yep.
history. They did not have a long history together. We can debate what happened to the Chagosians themselves, but in terms of any clear understanding of international law, and notwithstanding advisory opinions from so called international courts, Britain has sovereignty over that territory. It should not give anything to the Mauritians, especially given their close relations with China. And this incredibly important base needs to be retained. And you know, when the deal was struck in the mid 1960s, as came out publicly very late in this process, there was an exchange of letters between the UK and the US where the UK asserted sovereignty and said it would keep it. So
Mm.
that was a precondition for our agreement on the Diego base. And I think if Trump simply said, look, I'm insisting on what you said in 1966, that's it, case closed.
That base is obviously, as you say, a joint US UK base, although it seems that the UK has not given the US permission to use it were the US to strike Iran. Do you think striking Iran is close?
I don't know because it involves trying to read Trump's mind, which is nearly impossible. I think, as a practical matter, because he drew a red line back in January, saying to the Ayatollahs, if you don't stop killing your people, I'm coming after you, basically. He has to use force to vindicate that red line. Otherwise, he looks like
Yeah.
Obama and Cameron on Syria.
Although force can be used in a lot of different ways, economic sanctions being one of them. Do you think those economic sanctions on Iran have worked to the point where kinetic military force would not be needed?
No, I think this requires military force to vindicate the red line. I do agree the economic sanctions have not worked effectively. This is a long, complex subject. We could all do a lot better on it. The real question is, will Trump go beyond vindicating the red line with a kind of one and done strike and do something more strategic against the regime to help destabilize it even further and hopefully advance the cause of regime change?
Mm. Even if that could precipitate something worse after it. We don't know what comes after it. Not very good at nation building.
Well, I would say this: I don't think you can get a worse government than the Revolutionary Guard and the Ayatollahs. I don't doubt there would be turmoil. These authoritarians have ruled for over 46
Mm.
years, and there are scores to be settled. But I don't think the regime has ever been weaker since it came to power in '79.
And a final word, John. Viewers will be able to see the chess set behind you. I know you are a chess player. I don't know whether you are a football or soccer player, or whether you take much interest in it. But there's been a lot of controversy around the way in which ICE have policed various cities. ICE is central, we're told, to the security arrangements around the World Cup in the United States. There's obviously a problem in Mexico at the moment with the drug cartel boss being killed and resulting violence. Do you think the World Cup in the Americas is going to be a safe event, or is it how big a security risk is it?
Well, I think it's a safe event. I think Trump's handling of ICE and the Border Patrol and these internal efforts to pick up illegal aliens who have also committed crimes since they've been in the U.S. has been a resounding failure for him. I think it's a political setback. I think his base, and I think it's an 80-20 issue in the United States to stop illegal immigration. It's not an 80-20 issue to threaten people on the streets of America, shoot innocent American
Mm.
citizens and really disrupt the lives, even of people who came here illegally, who were living normal lives in the community. Trump has overstepped. ICE is the visible manifestation of that, and he'll pay for it politically.
But all this idea of boycotting the World Cup. Um,
I, I just think that is a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome. We all suffer from it to some extent, but I think it would be a mistake to boycott the World Cup.